The devastation and human tragedy brought about by natural hazards such as earthquakes, typhoons, and tsunamis are once again occupying the global headlines. Hazards are part of nature, but disasters can be prevented. With proper planning, preparation, mitigation, and risk management, disasters can be minimized. According to the United Nations International Strategy for Disaster Reduction, disasters have claimed the lives of more than 2.2 million people worldwide since 1975. Asia has the highest number of people killed from disasters. From the 2009 World Disasters Report, the Philippines is the fifth most disaster affected in 2008. Typhoons cost us billions of pesos in damaged property and loss of lives. At a time of financial crisis around the world, damages caused by disasters are the last thing the country needs. In the Mimaropa region, the five provinces of Oriental Mindoro, Occidental Mindoro, Marinduque, Romblon, and Palawan have not been spared. In 2006, the 10 most destructive typhoons hit the country. 4 inflicted extensive damage in the region, leaving 39 dead and almost 1 billion lost to damaged infrastructures, agriculture, and properties throughout the region. In Mindoro Island, 2 faults are active, the Central Mindoro Fault on the west and the Lubang Fault on the north. Big floods are also occurred in Oriental Mindoro. In December 2005, Calapan City, Nauhan, Victoria, and Baco were flooded 3 times. Separate flooding in Nauhan also occurred in January 2008. Millions of pesos lost to damaged property, infrastructure, and agriculture. The coastal towns of Occidental Mindoro have high susceptibility to flooding. In 2005, the province was flooded due to typhoon affecting 20,000 families, causing damage to infrastructure facilities estimated at 50 million pesos. Marinduque Island is prone to ground shaking hazards due to the presence of major earthquake generators in the region such as the Lubang Verde Island Fault, the Philippine Fault, Sibuyan Sea Fault, and the East Zambales Fault. Marinduque was among the worst hit by the most destructive typhoons like Reming and Frank. Marinduque also experienced flooding in the last 5 years. In Romblon Province, the Tablas Fault is considered active by FIVOX. The coastal towns of Tablas Island facing Romblon Passage are prone to tsunami. The province suffered heavily from Typhoon Frank. Major infrastructure and agricultural facilities were damaged, heavily affecting the population's source of livelihood. The province of Palawan has no earthquake or volcano-related hazards. However, landslides, flooding, storm surges, and tsunami occurred in the northern part of the island. The increasing frequency of natural calamities and the impact of climate change led to various initiatives to reduce disaster risks around the globe. At the local level, actions to reduce risk from disasters and climate change are slowly being adopted by communities, national authorities, civil society, and other responsible partners. Line agencies are doing their share in disseminating information on disaster management and preparedness. The local government units are now required to include in their development plans a disaster risk reduction component. The Philippines, for its part, in partnership with the United Nations Development Programme and the Australian Agency for International Development, is implementing the project Integrating Disaster Risk Reduction and Climate Change Adaptation in Local Development Planning and Decision-Making Processes. The project is implemented by Neda together with responsible partners, the DENR, Environmental Management Bureau or EMB, Housing and Land Use Regulatory Board, and the Office of the Presidential Advisor on Climate Change. The project envisions to enhance capacities and strengthen awareness, understanding, and competencies of the local communities and local government units. Incorporate the DRR-CCA concerns in land use and development plans of target regions, provinces, municipalities, cities. Demonstrate the practical strategies for DRR-CCA at the local level. Strengthen the mechanisms for multi-stakeholder cooperation on integrated DRR-CCA at the national and local level. develop policy and program instruments for enhanced multi-stakeholder cooperation to address climate change. The focus of intervention of the DRR-CCA project is in the formulation of a DRR-CCA Enhanced Provincial Planning and Physical Framework Plans. The 2008 Neda UNDP European Union Guidelines on Mainstreaming Disaster Risk Reduction in Subnational Development and Land Use Physical Planning shall be the foundation for the technical assistance to the provinces. DRR-CCA Enhanced PDP-FPs and CLUPs will provide local chief executives a more rational perspective in decision-making on development investments. Recognizing risks as development constraints would lead decision-makers to greater consciousness on investing in disaster mitigation. By mainstreaming DRR and CCA into our plans, we will also be able to address the vulnerabilities of people in harm's way, their assets and livelihood, and the environment they live in. Palawan has already completed its Provincial Development and Physical Framework Plan or PDP-FP and the Provincial Development Investment Program or PDIP, while Oriental Mindoro and Marinduque have already drafted their PDP-FP and are now drafting their PDIPs. Romblon and Occidental Mindoro are in various stages of PDP-FP formulation. The Neda Regional Office, together with partners DENR, SLURB, and MINSCAT, will assist these provinces in the preparation of the Disaster Risk Assessment or DRA to identify the risks, their potential impacts, and prioritized activities. The DRR-CCA component shall be an accompanying document of the PDP-FPs in the case of Palawan, Marinduque, and Oriental Mindoro. Romblon and Occidental Mindoro will still have the opportunity to integrate DRR-CCA concerns in their PDP-FPs. The project uses the 2008 Neda UNDP EU Guidelines on Mainstreaming Disaster Risk Reduction in Subnational Development and Land Use Physical Planning as the foundation for the technical assistance to the provinces. The realization of this project requires full support and active participation from everyone. Disasters happen, but we can reduce their risks. Climate change are real, but we can adapt to it.